Él no hace
Following a recent Golden Boy Promotions fight that ultimately led to a split, Canelo Alvarez has accused Oscar De La
y andar en otras
Hoya
cosas.
of betrayal after parting ways with the promotion. Oscar De La Hoya recently took
No, he's an he tried to steal money for the fighters, and he maybe steal money from their fight.
aim at Canelo Alvarez during his Clapback Thursday segment, a weekly clip he uploads on social media where he trolls and fires back at boxers and promoters he's feuding with. De La Hoya announced that the September 14th fight has been set. Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga, a matchup that nobody asked for. Fans are growing increasingly frustrated with Canelo for continuing to dodge a certain opponent, leading some to start boycotting his fights. In the world of boxing, loyalty and legacy are often entwined in a delicate balance, where relationships between fighters and promoters can define or destroy careers. For years, Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, was synonymous with Golden Boy Promotions, the company founded by Oscar De La Hoya. But as tensions mounted, the ties that once bound them began to fray, leading to a public and bitter fallout that has captivated the boxing world. Canelo Alvarez's journey with Golden Boy Promotions began when he was a bright young prospect, a rising star in the boxing world. Under De La Hoya's banner, Canelo transitioned from a promising fighter to one of the sport's biggest attractions. However, their relationship was not without its strains. De La Hoya's management style, combined with Canelo's growing self-confidence and desire for autonomy, set the stage for an inevitable clash. The first major crack in their relationship appeared when Canelo parted ways with Golden Boy Promotions in 2020. The split was messy, fueled by disputes over financial matters and Canelo's growing dissatisfaction with how De La Hoya handled his career. Canelo's decision to leave Golden Boy and align himself with both Matchroom Boxing and Premier Boxing Champions, PBC, was a clear signal that he no longer trusted De La Hoya to steer his career. The tensions between Canelo and De La Hoya reached new heights when discussions of a potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford began to circulate. The fight, proposed by Turkish promoter Ali Alek, was intended to be a blockbuster event in Saudi Arabia, pitting two of boxing's biggest names against each other. However, Canelo quickly made it clear that he was not interested in discussing future fights while preparing for his scheduled bout against Edgar Berlanga on September 14th. Canelo's refusal to engage in talks about the Crawford fight infuriated both Ali Alek and De La Hoya. Alek, who had hoped to secure a major payday with the Canelo-Crawford matchup, publicly withdrew his interest in pursuing the fight, stating that he would instead focus on building Crawford's profile in the US market and promoting other top fighters like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Gervonta Davis. De La Hoya, never one to shy away from controversy, seized the opportunity to criticize Canelo. In a fiery social media post, De La Hoya accused Canelo of only pursuing easy bouts and claimed that the Saudi promoters had lost interest in dealing with him due to his unreasonable demands. De La Hoya's harsh words only served to deepen the rift between him and Canelo, with the Mexican superstar later claiming he would punch De La Hoya in the face if given the chance. The internal strife at Golden Boy Promotions was not limited to the feud between Canelo and De La Hoya. Bernard Hopkins, a legendary fighter and longtime partner in Golden Boy Promotions, also found himself at odds with De La Hoya. The split between the two boxing icons began after a controversial win by a Golden Boy fighter, Virgil Ortiz Jr., which sparked widespread debate among fans and professionals alike. Ortiz's victory over WBC interim junior middleweight champion Surly Bohachuk was marred by controversy, with many believing that Bohachuk had outperformed Ortiz, despite the judges awarding the win to Ortiz. The fight, which took place on a Saturday night, quickly became the talk of the boxing world, with fans and pundits questioning the integrity of the Nevada judges. Hopkins, who has always been known for his straightforward and honest approach, did not shy away from expressing his doubts about Ortiz's win. In an interview following the fight, Hopkins acknowledged that sometimes fighters get ugly wins that can be questioned. But he also hinted that Ortiz needed to work on his performance before taking on tougher opponents like Terence Crawford. De La Hoya, however, reacted very differently. Overconfident in his fighter's abilities, De La Hoya took to social media to blast those who questioned Ortiz's victory, accusing them of not knowing anything about boxing. He even went so far as to post the CompuBox stats from the fight, attempting to use the numbers to defend Ortiz's win. However, the stats only added fuel to the fire. The clash of opinions between Hopkins and De La Hoya over Ortiz's win marked the beginning of their feud. When De La Hoya learned of Hopkins' interview, he confronted him, questioning why Hopkins would talk down about their fighter or support his opponent. The argument escalated, with Hopkins accusing De La Hoya of lying and going against what was clear for all to see, that Ortiz's win was far from convincing. The heated exchange between the two legends ultimately led to Hopkins' departure from Golden Boy Promotions. For many in the boxing community, this was the final straw, signaling the unraveling of Golden Boy, a company that had once been a dominant force in the sport. The ongoing conflicts within Golden Boy Promotions have not only damaged the company's reputation, but also raised questions about its future. With Canelo, the company's biggest star, now aligned with other promoters, and Hopkins no longer part of the team, Golden Boy's once bright future seems increasingly uncertain. De La Hoya's erratic behavior, both in the ring and on social media, has only compounded the company's woes. His public spats with Canelo, his over-the-top defense of Ortiz, and his harsh words for anyone who dares to question him have alienated many in the boxing world. Fighters, once loyal to Golden Boy, are now reconsidering their allegiance, with some already following Hopkins out the door. Bernard Hopkins, who has always been seen as the more level-headed of the two, has garnered respect for his willingness to speak the truth, even when it goes against the company line. Many believe that fighters will soon follow Hopkins, recognizing that he represents the values of honesty and integrity that they seek in a promoter. As for De La Hoya, his legacy as a fighter remains intact, but his reputation as a promoter is in tatters. Accusations of disloyalty, greed, and a lack of respect for the sport have tarnished the Golden Boy image, leading some to refer to him as Fraud Boy rather than Golden Boy. The future of Golden Boy Promotions now hangs in the balance, with many questioning whether the company can survive without its biggest stars and with De La Hoya at the helm. For Canelo Alvarez, the split with Golden Boy has been both liberating and challenging. On the one hand, he now has the freedom to chart his own course, making decisions that he believes are in his best interest. On the other hand, the constant back and forth with De La Hoya has been a distraction, one that he could do without as he prepares for his upcoming fights. Canelo's decision to focus solely on his bout with Berlanga, rather than entertain discussions about future fights, speaks to his commitment to his craft. He has made it clear that he will not be swayed by outside influences, even if they come from powerful promoters like Ali Alec or De La Hoya. In the lead-up to his fight with Berlanga, Canelo has shown nothing but respect for his opponent, despite the ongoing drama with De La Hoya. However, the animosity between him and his former promoter is never far from the surface. At the final press conference before the fight, tensions boiled over, with Canelo and De La Hoya nearly coming to blows. It was a stark reminder of just how deep the rift between them has become. Looking ahead, Canelo's future in boxing remains bright, but the shadow of his past with Golden Boy will likely follow him for some time. As he continues to build his legacy, he will need to navigate the challenges that come with being both a fighter and a businessman, all while dealing with the lingering resentment from his split with De La Hoya.